Hi, this is my third attempt. I hope this works. Right, hi, welcome to Patrick Cat's Place. I have got heaps of stuff to show you tonight. Well, I'm not all going to get done tonight, I know that. But I thought I'd start off with my cassettes because I've been talking about telling you what cassettes I've got. Okay, there's not that many, but here's what I've got, and they're duplicated on CDs and not DVDs, LPs, and one day I'll get around to sorting them out because I hate having duplicates. It's not necessary in my opinion, but anyway, this is what I've got. His Hand in Mine, GI Blues, Blue Hawaii, You Touched Me, Legendary Performer Volume 4, Elvis Back in Memphis, Today, Elvis Presley, Elvis Sings the Wonderful World of Christmas, and the Reader's Digest, Elvis Presley's Greatest Hits. I've also got, of course, the Reader's Digest set of CDs, so I'm well covered with Reader's Digest. I haven't got the LPs. I know I've seen them on YouTube, and they look a fabulous set with books and everything, but of course these didn't come with booklets or anything. But anyway, they're good to play if you want to feel like playing a cassette. And I've got this VHS video I had for a long time. I don't even know if I've played it. It says Priscilla Presley's moving and candid narration features interviews, newsreel footage of Elvis at home in uniform and on tour, plus movies, rah rah rah. Look, I think it's pretty much the same old, so I'm not terribly fussed about it. I'll never see it again. But anyway, I'll play it. I'll keep it, I should say. Hang on to it. And I've been buying some weird and wonderful things on Amazon and eBay lately. I found these cute Elvis currency, Elvis old-fashioned notes, American notes. The Elvis States of America. I think that is so funny. $2 frozen, it says. The Elvis States of America again. Is that the same? Let me see. And that's the same front, but a different back. This is the Citizens Bank of Louisiana, $1. I mean, they're pretty poor copies. You can make out Elvis there, but I don't know. They've probably been photocopied from something original that was done many, many years ago, I guess, in America. The Inflated States of America, $2 frozen. Yeah, oops. Yeah. Citizens Bank of Louisiana with pictures of Elvis, or one picture of Elvis. $1 Elvis. $1 Elvis here. Alright, $5 Elvis Bank, East Tennessee, $5. Somebody's had some fun mucking these up. God only knows how old they are. Bank of Tennessee, East Tennessee again, on demand, $5. Again, those ones have all got the same back, so I presume they're part of a different set. $5 Elvis again. I don't know, oh yeah, a different picture of Elvis there. So, like I said, they're very, very bad reproductions, but they're fun to have. Bank East Tennessee, $10 on demand to the bearer. It's Elvis in one corner and another American face in the other corner. And again, $20 Bank East Tennessee. So, a bit of fun. I don't know what I'll do with them. They're just memorabilia. And then I bought some stamps. Somebody was selling a whole collection of Elvis stamps on eBay, and I snapped them up because I've been looking online for over a period of time. I know other countries have produced stamps, mostly the third world countries, as fundraising things for their country. But this one, I'm very pleased to get. This is the first day cover of the American stamp. So it's the first day cover of that. And inside, she also had, some unused stamps, 4 unused stamps. So that's a plus, because I do have that stamp in my collection. but they're franked, they're used. And there was this postcard, and it's Elvis International Friendship Postcards. Please send a picture postcard to Elvis marked with the above heading, and so on. It's sort of a chain letter thing that somebody, one of the fan clubs has obviously started up. Then this one, I think it's sort of a first date cover, Germany, Elvis and Presley. So it's in German. I can't understand what the writing is. I don't know if it's no, it's not really a first date cover, I don't think, because there's no, I think it's just a bit of a gimmick. So you've got the stamp, and then this here is like a bit of plastic over the picture of Elvis to make it look like it's a record. So that's a bit different. Then we have a sheet of stamps from Tanzania, 15th anniversary of his death, and this is a really nice. I'm very, very happy with this. Unused, of course, and a different picture of Elvis for each stamp. Great little collection. The same with this one from Palau, P-A-L-A-U, I think Africa, maybe some Polynesian island, I don't know, but different pictures of Elvis again. Not those, I think, are superb. These aren't as good, but nevertheless, it's Elvis. And finally, this one is from Grenada. I love this. They're all, the stamps are all the same, but the whole sheet, it's really, really good. So that can go into my album of stamps, Elvis stamps. Now, what else have I got here? I have got a CD. This is what I was looking for a while ago. The Complete $1 Million Quartet, Elvis, Carl, Jerry Lee and Johnny Cash. That's the CD, and that's the actual track, the actual video, sound recording of that time, that December the 6th in Son Records that Sam Phillips actually taped. It is brilliant. I've seen mixed reviews about this on YouTube. Somebody, or somewhere, it might have been eBay, some people say, oh, it's fractured, it's not whole songs, it's people talking and laughing and just strumming of guitars. But it's the real thing. That's what gets me. It's the real thing. The actual footage. Oh, I keep saying footage. The actual recording. And it does a little write up here saying about how Sam Phillips was at the controls for a Carl Perkins session the early afternoon of December the 4th. Jerry Lee Lewis was the session pianist. Elvis appeared with an entourage that included a girlfriend, Marilyn Evans. He picked up he listened to the tapes of the Perkins session and pronounced them good. Then he picked up a guitar and began to sing. Carl and the band, including Jerry Lee, joined. Sam Phillips realised that an event was unfolding and he called Johnny Cash. So Johnny Cash came over, others dropped by, including another Sun artist. Phillips placed one microphone in the centre of the studio floor and turned on the tape machine. And so you have it. So it's, a little book talking all about it, the artists and all the tracks. I'm not going to read them all out to you. And that's the CD. And there's a little background picture in there too. So, brilliant. So excited. I've played it once and I'll be playing it again. I just can't believe I've got it. And it's an RCA, it's not a bootleg. RCA Sony, I suppose it is, yeah. RCA, Sony, BMC, Sun, yeah, they're all listed. This is another one I saw on YouTube, and I can't remember. I've been trying to remember where I found it or when I saw it, but I just love it. I'm not getting taken in by all the Follow That Dream things. There's just too many of them. The reproductions on top of each other. But this one sounded good, and it's got 4 CDs, stereo masters from the 50s. Let me see, I'll give you, that's when your heart opened, I see. It's got 2 versions of Loving You, fast versions. Jailhouse Rock, Treat Me Nice, twice, 2 different versions. Young and Beautiful, 3 different versions. I Want to Be Free, 2 different versions. Don't Leave Me Now, 2 different versions. The second disc is Movie Gems, She Old Blues, Doing the Best I Can, rah, rah. And they're different versions of what we're used to. So, okay, that's fine. I don't mind a few of them, but like I said before, I just don't want thousands of them. CD3, The Magic of Nashville, and it's got, well, I think most of you probably know the things that were on Elvis for Everybody, Pop Luck and so on, those sort of songs. Kiss Me Quick, Just Tell the Jim Said Hello, so on and so forth. And CD4 is Live in Texas 1972, and that's just a complete CD of the whole show, which is absolutely brilliant. So you've got, so I don't want to chip them up because they fall out pretty easily. The way they're put in there is a bit unsafe, but anyway, that is what it is. So that's the CDs. And this booklet, which is actually part of this, the whole thing, it looks like a little book, and it's absolutely brilliant. I just love this. It's very hard to, see if I can, now if I turn that around I'll muck that. Let's see. A lot of information, some great photos. So, yep, really, really happy with that CD set. Then we have a magazine that I picked up in the supermarket a week ago, which I've been watching these, the Icons series, and every so often the supermarket they have these magazines. There's been different stars, singers, movie stars and so on. And I've just been keeping one eye on them. I'm not really sure they were going to do an Elvis one. Sure enough, they did. Great magazine. $10, that's all. And, of course, it's printed in England. Now, I say of course because all the best magazines and books about Elvis seem to be published in England. I don't know what it is about their printers and their publishers, but they're absolutely... There's nothing published like that about Elvis in Australia, I can assure you. I don't know about other countries, but let's see if I can do a flip through. Probably going to be a bit dark, but yeah, they're just... It's interesting the way it's done. The chapters are done using his discs or his LPs as a sort of a chapter. Let me see if I can find where are the chapters. No. Chapter 1, Elvis Arrived. Chapter 2, Rock and Roll Royalty. Chapter 3, Inside Graceland. Chapter 4, Fall of a King. Well, that's not quite right, but anyway, hard to explain. But again, some great photos. Quite good text. Fairly recent. I think written by somebody who's young. Some of the things they've written, I think, they haven't quite got that right, but that's okay. They can be forgiven. You can see that, yeah. So, terrific photos. As always, you know, we've seen a lot of them before, but now and then there's something new that you haven't seen. Movies. But see what I mean about the discs? They focus on an LP and then they talk about Elvis in general. They talk about the track list and they talk about what was happening in Elvis's life at the time that LP came out. So yeah, beautiful. Yeah, a really, really nice magazine. Worth getting if you can find it. It's recent, it's very current, so you should be able to find it, depending on where you live, I suppose. Okay, books. Now, I've just been going nuts. I found some interesting things on, I think these were eBay. Rock-Ups, the Elvis story, the music pop-up book. Look, I had never heard of anything like this before. I think this is incredible. Let's see if I can do it. I'm just going to turn this around because I think I'll get a bit more light on it this way. Okay. So it's almost like a kid's book. So pop-ups, 3-dimension. I don't know where that bit's meant to come out. I think it maybe just. Oh, okay. I'll move that around. Yep. So that's the piano. Jerry Lee. Oh, I see. This is the $1 Million Quartet in a pop-up version. that's meant to be the piano. Yeah, of course it is there, like so. Yeah. I don't want to push it too hard because I don't want to break it. Oh, I see, that comes right, and that moves like that. Fun. Let's see. Right. Then we've got Jailhouse Rock. What a fun thing. Okay. GI Blues. There's Army. What's behind there? Nothing, just... Okay. And this one. Open up the gates. And there's Elvis, the pink Cadillac. Okay, what's coming on here? That looks like the Beatles there, doesn't it? Okay, so that pulls out. No, it doesn't. No. Okay, what's this one? Viva Las Vegas. Right, and that's a pop-up, like so. Who would have thought a pop-up book about Elvis? Isn't that cool? It wasn't that expensive either. Okay, the next book I've got is another. Now, do you remember the Where's Wally book, the Where's Elvis version? Well, this is another Where's Elvis. Documented sightings that prove he lives. I think it's tongue-in-cheek, of course. But they've got, it's not cartoons, they're actual photographs. And it's put Elvis's face on people's... oh, okay, Grace said, okay. Even though he ran the risk of being spotted, the king couldn't resist turning up at his own funeral. I mean, that's pretty sick, isn't it? It wasn't anything warped that made me want to be there. I just wanted to pay my respects. Now, I've had a look at the photo. I'm not quite sure. I think I saw him in there somewhere. His face might be in there. Anyway. Annapolis, Maryland. Another day, another lifelong dream realised. Midshipman Elvis Aaron Presley. I've tried them both, being an enlisted man and being an officer. You've got to dress a lot prettier being an officer, right? Well, again, I'm not sure if I found him in that, but he's in there somewhere. Okay. Sleeping briefly and unobtrusively back into show business on the soap opera Search for Tomorrow. The king was uncharacteristically melancholy. Makes me miss work, he said. Okay, so I don't know who those people are, but anyway. There he is, in bed with a couple of girls. Unusual for Elvis. Right, and then we've got this one. Okay, a Rolling Stones concert. Yeah, Mick's got some good moves, but he wants to last. He's got to rethink his costume. Yeah, right. Never liked Mick Jagger. I don't mind their music, but I think he's a sleaze. Sorry. Okay, did I find Elvis in this? Not sure. Maybe I haven't looked at that one too closely. Okay, then we've got... Now, this one, I'm a bit annoyed. This book, if you look really closely, a page has been very carefully cut out. So, this has got Tupelo, Mississippi, back at Archie's Diner. Now, there's obviously a page meant to be there, and this one says, Sarasota General Hospital, Florida, coming out of anaesthesia after his vasectomy. Nels Pillman thought he was hallucinating. And again, the page here is obviously something that relates to that. So I'm pretty annoyed at that. What can you do? I suspect, because going through the book in the first place, I suspect that when the guy who sold it to me on eBay, when he bought it from someone else, he probably didn't even realise this page missing either, because there's no other vandalism to it. Okay, USS Intrepid. The Congressional Medal of Honor Committee thought no one would notice if they awarded him the medal posthumously. Now, where is he here? I did pick him out of this photo. He's in there somewhere. No, lost him. I mean, I could write on it, but I'm not going to. When he recorded the incident in the light flog, astronaut Joseph Allen wrote, I was gazing out in the direction of Polaris when I got my first glimpse. I thought it was just a piece of space junk. Then it floated closer. That's when I knew I'd been out here too long. And this, you can see Elvis's image in his the lens of his space helmet. That's quite fun. Okay. All-Star game at Palo Alto, California. And I've got a feeling, I think that's in there. I think that they've superimposed him there. Could be anywhere, but... Okay, Jerusalem. Deep spiritual emptiness, a pilgrimage in search of his true religious home. Perhaps the sideburns are a clue to where he really belonged. Where did I see that? Might be that one, I think. It's fun looking. He's in this. He's in all of them somewhere. That's quite fun. Oh, no, this one I don't. Murmurs rippled through the papal audience. Was it a sacred vision or an optical illusion? One woman was heard to inquire, who's that up there with Elvis? Well, then that's the Pope. And that doesn't look like Elvis, so I don't get that one at all. Okay, Manhattan Christmas shopping at Trump Center. Where did I see him? I think he's there, because I think that's his jumpsuit. Washington, D.C., Iran-Contra hearings. Okay, let me see. There he is. He's sitting there. That's fun. It really is fun looking at this. Okay. Lake Michigan. Suddenly physical fitness was his whole life. He joined the Polar Bear Club. My mama always told me cold water keeps the mind chaste and right. Well, I don't know. Did I find Elvis in that one? He's probably out the back there somewhere. Okay. Beijing, China, Tiananmen Square. The Red Army was coming at us, and suddenly one of the kids shouts to me, "Sing Don't Step on My Blue Suede Shoes." It was the performance of my life. And it's probably him there, I think. Yeah. Night of 100 Stars in New York City. The Colonel tried to keep me from coming, but when I heard Sammy Davis was going to be there, I just had to make an appearance. Yeah, well, I think that's him there. And what's this? Ascot, England. Now where is he? Yeah, I did find him in that one. Some people consider the job a step down. For Elvis, it was an opportunity to wear some really nice clothes. Now, I can't pick him out of that. All those people under those busbies I wouldn't have a clue. And this one, Broadway, Manhattan. Joined the company of a chorus line. Too much whirl and not enough twirl. But the perks are good. No, haven't looked for him there. Lenin's tomb in Moscow. Thought I'd pay my respect to this guy. Where is he? Yep. Okay. County Jail, Seattle. And there he is there. Anyway, all good fun. So that's a bit different. Okay, now let's turn this back here because I'm going to show you. I've bought a lot of books. I'm only going to show you the small ones today or tonight because the big ones are in the other room and they're going to take a lot more going through. So, If I Can Dream, Elvis's Own Story by Larry Geller. I'm halfway through that. I'm finding it interesting. Look, I've got pretty much all the books written by his offsiders now, and if you read them all, you can get it, to my way of thinking, you can get an overall picture of Elvis, the man, and what he was like. Because, well, you know what it's like, even in your own family and group of friends, if you pick one person out of that group, everybody's got a slightly different image or perception of that person, just depending where you come from, in your own personality. So Elvis is the same. Everybody's, there's things that each book each author has written where it's another person has written about the same incident with a slightly different perspective. So they're telling the truth because they're talking about it. But look, it's got a few photos in. Photos of Elvis and Larry and family and so on. Yeah, so it's a good one. Inside Elvis by Ed Parker, who was his one of his bodyguards toward the end. I mean, they all claim that Elvis talked to them, he was their best friend, and so on and so forth. Well, you take that all with a grain of salt, but yeah, this one's got, yeah, it's got a few photos of Elvis in concert. His guns, sunglasses, cars, different aspects of his life, drawings. My Life Before, During and After Elvis Presley by John Wilkinson, the guitarist, his rhythm guitarist. And this is actually John's life story. So he starts out when he was a kid and talks about when he was growing up and how he became aware of Elvis and how he met Elvis when he was a kid. Went and saw Elvis before one of his concerts and told him he didn't think he was playing guitar properly. That's a great story. You've probably heard it. So I've read it before, actually. I've heard about that. So, yep, let me see. Yep, quite a few photos in concert, and John with Elvis or with other people, his family and so on. Yeah, it's well written. That's worthwhile reading. The Elvis You Didn't Know, Memories of Living and Working with the Man We Call Our Friend, Donnie Sumner and Ed Hill. Donnie, I think, was JD's cousin or nephew or son or something or other, I don't know. But they were part of the Stamps Quartet, so... now this is... it's funny the way it's written. It's not written like an ordinary book. I'm sorry, it's just weird. It's readable, but it's just odd the way it's done. Sorry, can't explain it. You'd have to... I don't know if I'd bother buying it. If I was looking for something about Elvis, if I knew what it was like, I probably wouldn't buy it. Although, again, there's stories about being with Elvis on stage and off stage. Elvis, Truth, Myth and Beyond, an intimate conversation with Lamar Fike. Elvis Presley's closest friend and confidant. Well, then they're all saying that, aren't they? So, yeah, sorry, Lamar. You're only one of many. 400 questions you always wanted to ask about Elvis. Nearly 40 years after his death, millions of people still want to know intimate details of Elvis Presley's life. What did he think about his music? What did he really do behind the walls? What are his final thoughts the way he died? We have the answers here provided by Lamar Fike, a charter member of Elvis's Memphis Mafia. He tells the full story one-on-one of his remarkable 23-year friendship with the world's greatest movies. This book is not a gushy fan's tribute. It is not a dry recitation of facts. It is not a pop psych portrait by an envious outsider. It is as much truth about Elvis as the world is ready to handle. As told by a friend, Elvis was never able to turn away. Well, okay. So the book is a series of questions. I think Lamar was interviewed by these, as told to L.E. McCulloch, Harold F. Eggers Jr. Yes, so a couple of people that he talked to over a period of time. There's there's no photos. So, but it's just a whole bunch of questions, and yeah, some of them you probably would have asked Elvis if you'd been able to meet him. Right, Elvis: The Army Years Uncovered by Trina Young, behind the scenes of the 2 years that changed the King of Rock and Roll's life. And have I started reading? I think I started reading this. Yeah, I tend to get these books and browse through them, maybe read a chapter here and there, and then eventually pick them up and read them right through. I think I've just browsed through this one. So yeah, it's quite good. She's obviously interviewed a lot of different people. Trina Young is a music journalist and author who has been writing about Elvis Presley for several years. So she's obviously written a lot. I've never heard of her before, but yeah, it's quite a good book. She's no photos. Oh yeah, there's a few photos. It's the usual army photos, Elvis and Priscilla. Elvis having his hair cut. Elvis and his mum. Yeah, nothing marvellous, but interesting reading again. Okay, and finally, Elvis and Ginger. I wasn't going to get this book. I thought, oh God, I don't need to know. But having read a review of it, I've got a different perspective of it. Ginger didn't write this after Elvis died. Well, just after Elvis died. she wrote it in 2014. So, what are you looking at? 77, 14, 20, 40 years. As an adult, a middle-aged woman, she's written looking back at what happened. So, I think it would have been completely different, and she'd written a book soon after Elvis has died, when she's still 21 years old, still very, very young. So, I enjoyed it. I think have I read that right through? No, I've browsed through most of it. Photos, let me see. Yeah, a few photos. Some, different ones. And she tells the way it was when she woke up and found Elvis. There's been a lot of nasty things written about her. And I feel sorry. I think she's been demonised. I feel sorry for her. But it's good. She goes right from when she first met, how it happened, and it goes through when she was in one hotel room and Linda was in the other one, and she didn't become aware until much later that Elvis was ditching Linda to be with Ginger. Yeah, so it's good. I'd recommend it if you want to know the truth about their relationship, whether he was going to marry. I mean, according toward the end of it, yes, he did talk about marriage. Gee, who knows? My own thoughts are that he was 42. He feels like he was getting older. He only had one child, and possibly he wanted to get married again, have more children. And it was maybe just a last-ditch attempt to create a meaningful relationship. Who knows? None of us will know. But look, you get into his head, I suppose, in a way. Anyway, I hope my camera battery hasn't flattened by now, and I hope you got something out of this little video. There'll be more to come when I sort out the rest of my big books that I've been writing. Bye for now.